In the West End of 1950s London, plans for a movie version of a smash hit play come to an abrupt halt after a pivotal member of the crew is murdered. Well, that member of the crew is director, who is played by Adrien Brody in this case. He winds up in the middle of the stage dead, so the authorities, who are played by Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan, are called upon to investigate, and we've got a whodunit murder mystery / comedy movie. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to my channel and to my review of See How They Run. If I had to summarize my experience with this movie in one sentence, it would be the fact that it doesn't dazzle and the movie is actually quite forgettable. However, I would be lying if I said I didn't have a great time with it. So let's get into what I really enjoyed about this movie. I thought Saoirse Ronan was the best part of the entire film, and she was extremely just incredible. She felt very casual, very comfortable to watch on screen. Her humor landed pretty well with me. There's a certain style of humor that this movie goes for throughout its runtime, and although most of it doesn't land with me, everything that Saoirse did felt endearing and it felt comedic and it just felt right. At the end of the day, you could argue that she's really the main subject of really the entire film, or at least one of them, and I think she carries that mission quite nicely. To be honest, I could watch this whole movie over again just to see her performance in it, because I just thought she was incredible and I really enjoyed seeing her on-screen presence, and all the better for it is the fact that she's on screen for most of the runtime, which is a nice bonus too. And additionally, I thought Sam Rockwell was a really nice additive bonus to Saoirse Ronan's performance as the inspector. His character is very jaded, very tired, and he even goes out to the bar during some of their stakeouts at some points. You can tell the guy has just had it, and that jadedness really leaks into his everyday job, and it really makes the relationship between him and Saoirse Ronan's character quite interesting. And that's where some of the most endearing and heartfelt moments kind of come into fruition, because you got Sam Rockwell, who's playing this inspector who feels like the dad who's just really, really tired, and then you got Saoirse, who's just the daughter that's really high, full of energy, full of life, and ready to just learn everything possible. Saoirse Ronan's character is like, I want to do everything and I want to do it all now, and Sam Rockwell's character is like, I just want to go back to bed and have a drink. It cracks me up. And additionally, although the humor style didn't really resonate with me and didn't really get me to laugh, I really liked its placement within the film. Although this film is largely forgettable, I won't forget the comedic style within it, and I think it will resonate with a lot of audiences. Whodunits, or at least the ones I've seen, are typically very serious, like in the vein of Death on the Nile or Knives Out. They don't take quite as a comedic tone as this movie does, and I thought that this was a nice change of pace in that genre. Are you going to be cackling during this movie? Absolutely not. Are you going to have quite a few chuckles at quite a few points? Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it keeps the whole experience really refreshing, a little bit more whimsical and a lot more lighthearted, which does add to the endearing elements of the movie. On the whole, it just makes the whole entire movie feel very pleasant. And I have to say, the film's pacing I thought was quite excellent. You never reach a point in this 1 hour, 38-minute runtime where you're feeling bored or that you're wasting time. Everything feels succinct, everything feels precise. I just really appreciate it when a movie wastes no time in telling its story, and See How They Run does that very well. And additionally, kind of going back to the performances, including Saoirse Ronan and Sam Rockwell, I really enjoyed a lot of the performances in this movie, including Adrien Brody, who really plays as a sleazeball. This is revealed in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, so this isn't a spoiler, but Adrien Brody's character is actually the one who is murdered in the murder that they're trying to solve. However, he's still in actually a majority of the movie, and he really gives it his all. You really believe he is just an ass bag, and it's kind of fun to watch. So what did I not like so much about See How They Run? Unfortunately, this movie by and large is pretty forgettable. It's one that you've probably seen at least a few times before. It's got all the main beats of a whodunit. If you've seen Knives Out, if you've seen Death on the Nile, if you've seen Murder on the Orient Express, a lot of this will feel very familiar to you. You've got a murder, you've got the authorities, you've got them questioning all of the witnesses, all the people involved, and then eventually you get some twists and turns, and then you get your killer. And it kind of gets into a rhythm, and it kind of gets into a cadence that you just can find a little bit more predictable, which takes some of the fun out of it. Again, they try to introduce some things, they try to go for some transitions between scenes, some comedic style to really change up the experience, which it does work to some degree, but it's not really life-changing. It doesn't go as far as to make this a whole new take on the whodunit genre by and large, which is a bit of a bummer, but it doesn't necessarily harm the experience to an awful degree. It just doesn't make it super memorable by any means. And additionally, this movie does have a lot of interrogations, as all whodunit movies do. However, none of those scenes really felt a need to feel captivating. After a while, they all kind of feel run-in-the-mill. They ask these people like the same questions, and a lot of those questions really don't add up to be anything meaningful. Like, it kind of feels the questioning of all these suspects was just put in just for the sake of having questioning of suspects. And to clarify a little bit further, I think the questioning is a little too long or a little too short in almost all of these cases, and you really don't quite know what's important or what's not important. A lot of it does feel like drivel, and by the time you get to the end of the movie, you're kind of like, yeah, that was just a little bit of drivel. And although while you're watching the movie and you're watching these interrogations, it doesn't feel like time wasting, but when you get to the end of the experience, you're like, okay, if this is the outcome, well then, yeah, that kind of was a bit of a waste of time, wasn't it? That could just be a product of whodunit movies in general. However, I'm here to tell you how I feel about the movie. That's how I felt nonetheless. So friends, in the end, I think I'm gonna have to give this movie a 7 out of 10. When I got out of the theater, I was a little bit more harsh about this one. However, now that I've had a chance to marinate on it, I think I like it a little bit more. However, I will say it's still a forgettable experience. Go see this movie if you want to turn off your brain and have some fun for an hour and a half. I certainly don't regret watching it. In fact, I even recommend it, and I think you'll have an awesome time with it. Friends, if you're here, thank you so much for watching another movie review. If you like videos just like these, feel free to click these end cards up above, like the video, or click the links down in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Once again, I've been Bryson. Until next time, have a great day.